Ladies and gents, welcome to the SpellForce free Rising Star League in the green color. Spawning in the bottom, this is AttackSpeedEnjoyer playing as the humans. On the other side of the map, Breathing Swamps, we got Svyatogor playing as the red dwarves. Now, the Rising Star League is basically the tournament that excludes all the tippy-top players and just gives room for everyone else to party. And you know, have that good old competitive experience with best of fives, and in this case, modded maps. So none of the maps are going to be the standard SpellForce free set. They're all player-made. Pretty cool stuff. Breathing Swamps here is made by Ra. Now for the heroes, we've got a Royal Mage versus Warrior of the Depths matchup. And they're going quickly for the puppies. Unfortunately, the dwarves didn't bring their scout wit to do a little bit of tanking for the hero, so that hero will have to heal back over time, but that should be no problem for the Warrior of the Depths, especially as early on you just go into Recuperate. Self-heal that's worth about a third of a potion, and it gets more powerful over time. You've also got Inspiring Presence that restores focus, as this guy doesn't regenerate focus rather. He gets it from like getting into combat and doing attacks to enemies, and then you can use Precision in the future to boost that if he picks that. We've got Sweeping Strike here for a little bit of AoE damage, and otherwise some Brute Force for power, and Concentration for cooldowns of these abilities. And on the Royal Mage side of things, we've got a Hailstorm, Spark, and Fire Nova, as well as an Arcane Force point. So these abilities are going to be nice and strong, and one Deep Waters point is enough to kind of regenerate between these creep camps. These all are very cheap abilities after all in terms of focus, so it's really no big deal to take out a bunch of bugs. On these unique maps, the creatures are also a little bit unique, especially the spiders over here. All three of them have different abilities. They can slow down people, they can poison people, and one of them just has super powerful attack speeds once it empowers itself. Mole goes down. Didn't actually end up going into the human base to harass or anything. You can always just go after the stonecutter people. But this map, as far as stonecutters go, does offer two spots for them. Svyatogor happens to clump up here, but could technically put one of the buildings back there if necessary. Now this is very harassable, so if the Royal Mage did want to go in there, he absolutely could. The Warrior of the Depths is back to try to claim this region, but it didn't go that great. So around 1.5 bugs worth of XP goes to the Warrior of the Depths, but the Royal Mage already is level 3, and he's gonna claim some more bugs down here. So that's a very nice little experience lead for AttackSpeedEnjoyer to enjoy. And later on he can get his attack speed as well. Like, one of the main things about the Royal Mage is that in the end, once you have Fire and Ice Might, which is now available, I think it will be picked at some point, you can just spec into Absorb the Elements once you build up your stacks of Fire Might and Ice Might as you use your abilities that are Fire or Ice of nature. This will get absorbed, takes away your stacks, and gives you all these power buffs. Damage goes up, you get additional projectiles from your staff. Or if you have the sword from the special merchant in the middle, that also works. The Royal Mage actually can have a sword, and although it's a bit flimsy, I don't think it's a bad idea. But I'm not sure if it'll come into play. These guys are playing with the mod for the heroes and the extra items. But I think this is an old version that doesn't yet have that. Like, it's got some new heroes, but it doesn't have the unique items, I believe. Anyways, I've asked them to next time, if they use it, to update their mod so that it's all included. Some of these rogue versions are still floating around, you see. Anyways, as far as the build order went, that's all good. So we are seeing the right amount of buildings, the right order of buildings as well, I believe. But maybe this woodcutter happened a little bit too soon. You're supposed to have the hunting cabin before the woodcutter. So it's stone, food, wood in that order for the humans. It's just how it is. You can't really deviate from that early on. But after that, your decisions start to come in. Do you actually go for earlier barracks, or do you leave that for later? Do you go for tech? Do you go for chickens? That's always an option. For the dwarves, we're not seeing too much special stuff happening just yet. We've got the double stone hall and a whole lot of axe wielders. I would strongly recommend some sentries for this because they're big boys. And if you're a big boy, then the Royal Mage can't use his AoE attacks on all of them at once. Got a bunch of bags on the floor. Forgotten loot. Where is the Royal Mage going? You'd think that when you have a level advantage, you press it and you get more creeps, right? There's also some moles and the mutated cave spawn in the middle. He's scary. I'm not sure this will come into play. I think the Royal Mage probably needs to leave. Oh! Accidentally teleported down there. The Royal Mage is gonna be going into the corner there. Freezes himself and just lets the icicles do the work. It's pretty smart. Can he actually get that super weak axe wielder? No. Just gonna get out. No, it's fake. He's purchasing.
Yes, come closer.
Selling some wolf hides and buying some pots. That's gonna reduce the number of pots later available to Svyatogor, and now he can get out. This is still pretty nice. Costs some health, but the health comes back from regeneration. Especially in your own sectors, it's a little bit faster. But I think you're not gonna want to sit around here as AttackSpeedEnjoyer. Just go out there, use your Arbalist and Infantrymen to get some of the creeps. Likewise, Svyatogor will be going out, and I think they're going for the opposite side, so they shouldn't be engaging with each other there any further. The sentries are in, that's good. Like I said, they're pretty big in terms of like exclusion zones. They can't move as tightly as the axe wielders, for example, who are very susceptible to AoE attacks. Just taking more space is inherently useful there. And both players will be taking care of the moles quickly, focusing down the weak ones. Of course, the Royal Mage, being ranged, has an advantage here, because every melee attacker that hits the mutated cave spawn gets this decaying debuff. It's very nasty, so it definitely pays to have ranged attackers. Like the sentries here, that you don't have to suffer these extra strong resistance reductions. Minus 100 resistance reductions. That's insane. Nearly lost the axe wielder there, but hey, took care of the camp first. Now the Humies have it too. How many barracks are we talking about here? Let's take a look. AttackSpeedEnjoyer has just the 2. I'd like to see 4, especially with those massive amounts of resources, but instead it went into tier 2. So I guess the bases will have to be expanded, and we'll have to see some iron soon enough. For Svyatogor, we have 3 stone halls. Tier 2 is not yet in. So it's just going to be more axe wielders and sentries. Taking on the spiders is a brave move, and I think it's way too soon for AttackSpeedEnjoyer to attempt this. You need a lot more units for this. But if you can lure away 1 or 2 of the free spiders, then, you know, maybe that could be okay. The Trapper isn't the one that has the poison attack, so as long as that's out, this shouldn't be too bad. Like, we got some pretty serious nerfs here with the Enfeebles, right? But it's okay. By the way, the Fire Might is also going to have a secondary effect here of enfeebling, of weakening the attacks, the armor of the Trapper Spider, and the Ice Might is going to have a small enfeeble, reducing the damage output. And that's That happens to be the spider with the item. So we've got a revitalizing ring for 250 health. It's very nice for the Royal Mage, who is flimsy like I mentioned before. It looks like these guys are supposed to take care of the Iron Skin Spider pretty easily. It doesn't seem to be doing its poison ability here. So very lucky indeed. Lucky break. If those 3 spiders had fought at once, this would have been a disastrous situation. Now let's see what the AttackSpeedEnjoyer has. We've got the Starfall, we've got the Absorb the Elements, and even Ice Shell for safety. So if the sentries were to upgrade their Precision Stance, which is a very powerful snipe ability, you deploy the guys and they just get insane hero killing damage. You can one-shot a hero, but if you just cast your abilities and use your Ice Shell, you got full resistances, so immune to damage. Dwarves are hitting the bottom now. They're tier 2 themselves. They have their Earth Shapers, which are just ranged better versions of Axe Wielders that can also have a damage reducing aura, or resistance increasing aura rather, to be exact. And the base is destroyed, the Iron Miners are down, the Humies are only now coming in. And sure, they can take this back, that won't be a problem, but Svyatogor has a massive population lead, so if his splits are going to be great, even the level advantage isn't going to play that much of a role. It just depends about whether those abilities hit or not. And so far, I'm not seeing a Meteor cast. This is just absorb the elements. There's a Meteor. Let's see if there's a split. I don't think there is. Oh my goodness, it lands and it's killing so many of the Axe Wielders. Level 6 is achieved. And although the hero will not die, because Ice Shell is cast in the last possible second. That's an opportunity for the... Oh, he teleported out of that. That is so dirty. I love it. Look at that. He survived. That's really useful because in 20 seconds there's going to be another Starfall available. And this is an opportunity to armor up and buy the pots, of course. Oh, buys the staff instead. Oh, can't buy everything at once, mate. Nah, that's not going to work. I'd say just get the armor.
A fair offer.
Oh my. What just happened? How did we do that? Huh? I can't do maths on the spot. Forget it. Fire golems. They're not siege mode yet. So they're just gonna punch the buildings for now. But it's working. The Humies aren't able to teleport up there. Although they do control the Godstone, it does seem that the dwarves are starting to get pretty damn big. 101 population, and the Humies are actually housed. Or billeted. They need to get some billets out as soon as possible. And the Watchtower is currently taking away from the economy as well, which is not great. Ideally, you want to leave that empty until you actually need it. Looks like the dwarves are going for the top sectors, and the fire golems are now upgraded for siege. So they are deploying, they are doing the thing that they must do. But it looks like Svyatogor is very quickly swapping over here, putting them into melee mode. And although the Royal Mage is activating his Absorb the Elements, he's got 4 projectiles now, and the Meteor lands, but it doesn't do that much damage, to be honest. And he's dead. I think this might be a Dwarven victory here. This shouldn't be going on for much longer anyways. AttackSpeedEnjoyer just lost everything. And the snowball effect is absolutely in. Although I think those are fireballs there. Not snowballs. Yeah, that's hot. Dwarves take over the base. Some precious tier 3 resource in there with the Moon Silver. On this map, all the tier 3 resources do share location. So owning both is also denying it to the opposing faction. But that's going to be game 1, ladies and gents. Yes, Svyatogor is victorious. But it's a best of 5, so AttackSpeedEnjoyer has plenty of opportunity to come back. Let's see what he can figure out. Well done by Svyatogor. I really thought that AttackSpeedEnjoyer with that quick level 5 had a massive, massive lead. And, you know, initially when he defended himself in the bottom, that looked good. But just never had enough units to really get it done. That fast tier 2 always bites the humans, in my opinion. Alright, welcome to game number 2 here. AttackSpeedEnjoyer sticking with the humies. Sticking with the green too. And on the other side, we've got Svyatogor, who's also sticking with the faction. Picking dwarfs here. Sticking with the red. The map is Ulfgar Mage Academy, also made by Ra. But this is one of the least complete ones at the moment. That is actively being used. So I think that's cool. It's got this special creep up top, the Greater Air Elemental. And actually it was AttackSpeedEnjoyer, I believe, that went after it. He was the only person so far to do so in any tournament. So that's entertaining, but this is a very powerful creep. I'm not sure he'll do it again. But, you know, maybe he'll change his mind. Got Mountain Lions. Banditos. More Mountain Lions. And of course the Gnars from the campaign are also here. Some pretty cool creeps to go around. Build orders are correct. Triple stone. Hunting cabin. Wait, isn't there a second stone back here? Or is that tier 3? That's moon silver. This is stone, right? I'm pretty sure it is. So I think the dwarves always should split their stones 2 and 1 for each location. Both players are going to be coming down here, as there is iron in these bottom sectors as well as a godstone, so it's very important to secure it. And I think AttackSpeedEnjoyer here has an opportunity to come over and just poke the cutthroats a little bit, see what kind of XP he can steal. But this time I think Svyatogor actually is going for a slightly better initial build with Relentless Rage picked. I also don't think you have to pick Recuperate until you're level 2, or even level 3, to be honest, with these easier creeps. But Relentless Rage is great because every attack you just get stronger with attack damage and speed. Cutthroats getting their throats cut. Everything's as it should be. Oh, there's one more special thing about this map. Well, several actually. There's the troll bridges where you have to pay the troll toll. Amazing. And there's a shop in the middle here. And behind it, hidden, is a troll scrap pile. So if you're playing the trolls, do not forget about that one. It's very useful. And people might not spot it. Because you have to turn the camera. Of course, nothing a good attack move can't take care of. Royal Mage once again stealing a little bit of XP here. Reaches level 3 before Svyatogor can. Pretty big difference here. Especially if some of the axe wielders can be sniped, that would be huge. Oh, look at that.
We lost the sector, Commander.
Quite possible this one would go down too if he had chosen to chase. But doesn't end up doing that. Anyways, the hunting cabin is coming in, and the dwarves having taken over this bottom base is actually a pretty big blow to the humans. If they can get a lot of iron in tier 2, you kind of have to fear their potential balloon game in the mid game. Or they could go for a really quick tier 3 with berserkers. It's also very scary. Mountain Lions aren't going to be a big problem for either of these players. Actually, you know what? Svyatogor's pathing is just looking a little better here. First off, he's securing the sectors. Although the dwarves won't be expanding wide. They're just gonna build up a few of the sectors at first. I don't think they're gonna build all of these before clicking up to tier 2. But anyways, even just a few of the axe wielders being out now should make it so that you can take on the Nars without any issue, because the warrior of the depths can just self-heal to a degree. So he can do the tanking. If you just pull a few of these Nars, then it's even easier. Especially under fire of a base. Got the first stone hall. It's about to be complete. We'll be taking out the Troll Toll Guard, but it's annoying. It's a weaker version of the normal smashers, so it's not difficult or anything. Your level 1 hero can do it, but it does take time away. You have to at some point dedicate some effort to it. Doesn't give a lot of XP either. It's not like a proper creep. Yeah, the dwarves are coming back, but without teleport, this has taken a long time. It's not quite as clean as it could be. Just gonna check for any early tier 2s, as these guys seem to like to skip the tier 1 play. I mean, I very much enjoy some keeper play from the humans, but I don't think it's the way to go against dwarves. Because they just go for the Earthshapers, right? And the Earthshapers deal magical damage, and guess what? Keepers can't resist. Magic. So minus 25% resist there. Where the Nars are going to be going down. Wasn't much of a problem at all. They deal pure damage, and axe wielders happen to be pretty strong. Although nobody can resist pure damage. It's not too bad, was it?
We're being attacked.
Svyatogor is level 4.5. There's plenty of gold in the bank, and there's some more item business down there. I think it's the potions. Lots of infantrymen here for the Humies. It's gonna be useful against the pack leader. You also got some arbalists. So far, peaceful. But this map ends up being on the aggressive side later, definitely. There's just such little distance between these two bases. It's super easy to be on the attack. Level 4 for the Royal Mage. Good pullback macro on that infantryman. If you can save every single unit from early creeping, that's going to be very beneficial indeed. And there's 2 more creeps. And for AttackSpeedEnjoyer, that might almost mean level 5. Maybe it will mean level 5. This time he hasn't played Ice Shell.
Building completed.
Nor has he opted into Fire and Ice Might just yet. Not enough for level 5, just about. Has 8 potions. That's wild. Svyatogor is on the offense now. Got 9 axe wielders, 6 sentries, 2 stone halls, and just a little bit of resources. He's also tier 2. Now, this is what I mean. These guys go for the very early tier 2. I'd be content myself to go up to like 3 or 4 stone halls myself first and just pump a little. But if they feel more comfortable like this, knowing that they've got access to farms and whatever, that's fine. Both of the factions need tier 2 for farming. Sentry might be able to pull out here. Just managed to. Royal Mage is going for a teleport after some shopping. But I don't see any fancy items. Oh, he didn't switch. He did buy the tier 3 items actually, but didn't switch. Don't forget to.
That's me.
There we go. That's a lot more powerful for the Royal Mage. Stronger attack, stronger defense. Serious damage going down on that Warrior of the Depths. Do bear in mind he can heal himself, but there's also many adverse effects from fighting the Royal Mage, so it adds up. Players are relatively equal with a little bit of an advantage for the dwarves, but the Royal Mage is really showing these light tier 1 units who's boss. And there's level 5. That's gonna be spooky. Warrior of the Depths is picking off several of the infantrymen now. So the humans are probably overstaying their welcome. I think they can take a fight, just not here. Yeah, it's probably best they left. It's about equal outcomes, though. That was fine-ish. Both players lost a similar amount of units in the end. But the hunting cabins are done, and it's time for farming. Plenty more hunt around the map, though. So if you're willing to juggle that, then you don't super need tier 2. Not this early, anyway. See, there's 200 here as well. So one way you could do that is you just recycle one of your woodcutters out there and put it back in the home base. Meteor's gonna land, but this time Svyatogor sees it, and that's a pretty good dodge. Only one of the axe wielder will go down. Perfectly acceptable. And the Royal Mage actually doesn't seem to have...
We need to expand.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have absorbed the elements, and that's really hurt him here. Got him killed, in fact, and the dwarves now have a massive population lead of 48 to 29. And that was just over a flag, right? So it wasn't like an important spot for the humans to commit to, but they've lost a lot of units here. I'm seeing a lot more human corpses here than dwarves. And this time the Warrior of the Depths is level 5 himself. So we might get to see Precision Stance. 2 points are available for it. And we do have the tier 3 armor. Could also opt into a Recuperate level 2, which gives you an immunity to afflictions, so Fire Might and Ice Might would be told to shut up. Royal Mage is nearly back. Also, it protects you against freezing. If AttackSpeedEnjoyer was to ever opt for that, what he'll have to do... Get me out of the shop, bro! He would have to get Biting Frost level 2 here. You see it, the level 2, it adds the frozen condition. So if you chill the opponent with Hailstorm, then you can freeze him. It's a pretty brutal way to shut down a hero. Although they won't be taking damage, or much anyway, but it frees you up to attack the army. Cut them down to size, and when the hero is back, then you have a large advantage. Now the infantrymen do have their health upgrades, so they're suddenly a lot stronger than axe wielders, but Svyatogor is swapping over to Earth Shapers. That's a really good way to spend the money, because they have magic damage. And their attack speed is a little slower than those of the axe wielders, I believe. No, it's the same actually, so it's just better in every way. So it's more DPS, flat, and it's a better resistance profile as well. So the infantrymen have minus 25% against magic, and plus 25 against strike. It's a huge difference there. Good to see a bunch of extra arbalists. And this is, I think, a sufficient army to defend here. Svyatogor has more population, higher quality units. Also a level 5 hero. It looks like he just upgraded his spin to win to level 2.
We need to expand.
That's it. Spin to win is level 2. So he's got like a secondary spin in there. No tier 5 abilities? No, he's got precision stance at least. Concentration as well, which will give him more uses of inspiring presence. So you can just refill the focus tank. We're gonna go shopping then. Good to see AttackSpeedEnjoyer building his stacks, but he doesn't have Ice Might, does he? Nope. Put everything into Arcane Force. I think that can wait. Like, just having Absorb the Elements is better than having the 4th point in Arcane Force, right? Of course, having Ice Might is nice there too, for the attack speed boost. He does enjoy attack speeds, no? So a lot of fire golems. If the dwarves can take a decisive fight, they can follow up with sieging. Speaking of, do we have the upgrade? Yes. They can in fact deploy into their volcano stance and throw giant rocks. Like that. That one there might need to be careful because it's getting sniped. Oh, it's dead. Super dead. Looks like they're gonna go for a fight. Ooh, that's a really good Fire Nova, but now the Royal Mage is out of mana. Meteor lands, but through the protection of the Earthshapers, it didn't do that much damage. The population is starting to not look so good for AttackSpeedEnjoyer here. Svyatogor staying stable-ish, even through the fortified outpost fire. Maybe the Royal Mage can change something about that? Let's see. Fire Nova didn't hit multiple people, but he is definitely distracting some of these guys. And now the army's coming back, but they're walking into melee range. That's not so great. Perhaps if the base shot down some of these fire golems. They are pretty low health. And there's only one more left. Oh, there's one more coming in. Okay. The reinforcing units are pretty meaningful too, of course. Awkward fight from both sides. It's a lot of walking, not a lot of hitting. It seems the dwarves are more or less prevailing. But with the hero going down, that's not going to be the same. I thought that was for sure going to be fine, but it's not. Level 6 is achieved by the Royal Mage. And the huge meteor landing actually takes out a lot of the remaining dwarves. Including the fire golems are going to be sniped on their way out. The infantrymen now have their warhammers. Lots higher attacks. See what that next point is about. Well, we do have Absorb the Elements. We do have Ice Might. Just still only 1 point in Deep Waters and only 1 point in Hailstorm. Yeah, that's just a consequence of rushing for that Arcane Force multiplier. Keeper's getting added to the fight. That's insane. I mean, they're gonna defend well against the fire golems. They have strike damage in melee. And these guys have good resist. They have high health. Fortified outposts getting bonked pretty good. Buildings were trying to deconstruct themselves, but I'm thinking that AttackSpeedEnjoyer will be enjoying that stone from this for sure. Tier 3 attempt early on by Svyatogor. This would have been so much easier if you just had a few thingies. Balloons. Combat balloons are so useful here. It's very difficult for the Royal Mage to get AoE on them. And they can snipe him pretty good. The Infantryman can't shoot up. The Keepers can't shoot up. So that all adds up, in my opinion. Only one more base left here to upgrade to a fortified outpost for AttackSpeedEnjoyer. And then it's time for tier 3. He's already gone for tier 3. Gets the bottom base, gets iron. And the Champions can't be too far out at this point. How is Svyatogor gonna deal with this? Because that's just so much stuff, right? The granite halls are also very expensive buildings, although he does have stone. That's not the biggest issue. He does have stone. It's just... it's still expensive. Maybe he gets berserkers and everything will be fine. Or he tunnels. Oh no, he tunnels. But how? To what? He's sending out a single mole rider. Oh my goodness. If this is not spotted... oh no way. That is infinity fire golems. They could potentially free shot the main base. Although it's Citadel, so that's gonna help AttackSpeedEnjoyer a little bit. It repairs fast. It's got more health. Freaking Svyatogor is gonna cheese him. Well, the Mole Rider is spotted, ladies and gents. The tunnel exit is planted. You don't have to maintain vision, it's already building. It's building very fast. Here they are. They're gonna hit it. Let's go, they're all deployed. The Royal Mage isn't hitting them. He's hitting the melee units. Where's the meteor? Oh my goodness, there's not gonna be a meteor. Svyatogor is gonna take the base down. That's GG. His melee units did the job of blocking the path. Beautiful work. AttackSpeedEnjoyer gets cheese. That's insane. Well done, well done. He saw what he had. There was an opportunity. The human tier 3 was going to be immensely powerful here with all the economy and the very powerful Royal Mage. So this was probably the best move to make in that moment. It's unfortunate for AttackSpeedEnjoyer he didn't react sooner. Well, let's see if he can bring it back in game 3. Alright, ladies and gents, we've got game number 3 and AttackSpeedEnjoyer is actually taking over the winning color so far. He's playing as a red humans this time. On the other side of the map, not across spawn. This is kind of same side spawn. Svyatogor is gonna switch to orange and be dwarves. Interesting. So the map here, made by Nathan, is black water. As you might see, the water is indeed black. There's a lot of special creeps here. There's these duelists. There's a door cavern bandit. Now there's a necromancer amateur. It's a little wild. There's these mini milky draconid spawnlings. Look at them go! And there's more of them. Here in the middle there's like an amalgamation of ghosts, including the spirit kobolds and orc drummers. There's a duelist, a lord, a priestess. It's a bit of a mess, really, but it's cool. They're all unique. You all have to watch out for their special thingies. And then, of course, the ghost giant in the middle as well. There's 2 of them. There's a lot of sectors, a lot of godstones. And there's a special shop here in the middle. Usually makes for some late game matches, this map. But the players being on the same side rather than the opposite might shorten that. We'll see. bunch of these strange creatures get spawned, but they just get one hit. Get pretty strong damage, so you are rewarded for getting rid of them. So far, AttackSpeedEnjoyer is just taking a little bit more sectors. I'll probably want to go over here to take on more of these spawnlings. Because there's no way a hero by himself can fight these things. These are way too strong. But he could go and harass the dwarven economy if he really wanted to. There's just a lot of easy bases back there, so you know, if you're patient, you can just pick those up. But I think it's better to try to slice away at the creeps and just pull on 2 or 3 into your base and have that help you.
Chop, chop, man. Let's get to work.
Especially with the Warrior of the Depths who can recuperate himself. It shouldn't be that big of a problem in my opinion. Okay, Royal Mage is building up a bit here as well. They're pretty much doing the same thing, these 2 players, except the space isn't taken by the humans. The skill trees are going to be the same as before. Actually, not quite the same. Head splitters picked up by Svyatogor, but other than that, it is the same.
Building completed.
I think that kind of justifies a small fast forward here for us. It's a cool map. I really like the art of it. I think the creatures could use a little standardization, but we're gonna double speed this because they're just expanding away from each other, right? And just fighting creeps. They are gonna be on similar levels. AttackSpeedEnjoyer gets the main base, sort of, that in a 2v2 you would have. I quite like the 4-player maps, guys. I quite like them. I enjoy that they give us some longer matches. Takes a hero a long time to clear this out by himself, so I'd really like to open up with like 2 infantrymen here. Kinda like Svyatogor is doing, it's going much faster for him. You see, he's already taken 2 extra sectors compared to the Royal Mage. That's that speed difference in taking out the creeps. I mean, an infantryman versus a Royal Mage, they have similar damage, so it's a huge boon to have that. At least on the regular attacks. Okay, we've got the first engagement. Really good use of the abilities here for our Humies. But I think they're just going to disengage from each other here. Nobody really wants to stick it out. Let's see how we are doing with the barracks count. So we've got 2 over here for the Humies in the second main base, sort of. And then spawning right here are some more spawnlings. Taking this base and then pulling in those guys, I think, is the move. All the units are right next anyway. Oh, the dwarves are just gonna go in? No. Smart move by Svyatogor. Pulling out the creeps, dealing with them a few at a time. What's the point of these kobolds? They have no damage. They just distract for 1 hit. Anyways, the ghosts are slowly but surely going down. Taking a look at the Royal Mage skills, we've got Ice Might and Fire Might picked up. Just the usual on the left side of the tree. Good amount of infantry and some arbalists. But we already got a quick tier 2 from Svyatogor as well as from AttackSpeedEnjoyer. They really don't like to play at that tier 1. They click up as soon as they can. I think you can make a few more production buildings and units in tier 1 and just creep a little bit faster. Get your hero up to a higher level, and you know, these two heroes at level 5 absolutely excel. So why not? Why not make use of that? And then you still add in your tier 2 units. You'll be fine. Okay, Royal Mage does seem to have his special stick. He's got his big stick energy right there. And we've got the Queen's Guard Battle Mage armor level 2. Still got some potions. The dwarves aren't going to bother defending this one. There is not much to defend. I mean, they have the merchant, but they're playing on that old version of the mods. I'm pretty sure they don't have the special weapons. And even if they did, the Royal Mage just bought the regular one at the shop. So I don't think he wants a sword anyway against the Warrior of the Depths. You could just bonk him. If Svyatogor opts for Disruptor, which he hasn't done in the previous game. But once again, we've got Sweeping Strike 2. We don't have Recuperate 2. But we do have at least Precision Stance, so that part is normal. It's still gonna be hella annoying, however. Especially getting into the back of your group with the Arbalists. The Royal Mage only being a level 3 is a little bit of a disaster for the humans, but so far so good in terms of the micro. The guys are distracting the Warrior of the Depths, but he's so armored. He's absolutely having a party there against the infantry. Pullback micro is helpful, but the infantrymen still end up getting taken down, and I think the remainder of them will be struggling also. The Royal Mage is level 4, but that's an entire level behind the Warrior of the Depths. The pathing of Svyatogor was just a little bit better this time, right? If he's able to keep pumping, this is a snowball situation if we've ever seen one. Oh, the base comes up. That's a huge boon. Could pick up some of these super weak axe wielders, but they're teleporting out, so that's not going to happen unless this specific projectile here hits one of the weak ones. No, it hits the Warrior of the Depths. Okay, never mind. SpellForce 3 does have this permanent tracking, so you can teleport across the map if you like. The shot that's fired is still going to hit you. The arrow is going to turn corners. We got triple billets coming in for the Humies. They do not want to be billeted anymore. Not like in the other games. Looks like the Ghost Giant got spooked and summoned his hounds. They are pretty tough, so you want to be careful with taking on this giant. He also has a chain lightning that knocks people down, so that's rough. And to make it worse, once you do take him out, he explodes for damage. Knocks everyone down again. So yeah, you better go in with your Earthshapers having their protective aura thing. Or the humans just having overwhelming numbers. What did we buy?
We're under attack.
Weapon and armor. No second weapon because that's way weaker than the main hand. Probably too weak, but I mean, if that was stronger, then the Warrior of the Depths would need some kind of nerf on the abilities. He's already one of the very best heroes. Very hard to kill. Requires something like a weakening, a knockdown, right? That kind of stuff can kill him. Like with the Dark Elves doing double weakening and stuff like that. That's pretty sick. Okay, all the kobolds melt away. And one by one, the ghosts are gonna pay the ultimate price. This is going pretty quickly. Once you have this many units, you can very safely take these medium camps, of course. And this should mean level 5 for the Royal Mage. It's pretty good. Let's see what the skill picks will be. We've already got Biting Frost.
The outpost has been built. We've
So
expanded
that's
our
nice.
borders.
This is how I like it. Just put Starfall and absorb the elements, and then later invest into Hailstorm to get yourself some more mana so you can constantly do the thing. Yep, that's exactly what happened. And later on you can add your Biting Frost level 2. The reason I recommend that AttackSpeedEnjoyer gets himself Hailstorm 2 is because the slowing impact of that is way stronger. So I think... Oh wait, doesn't it get stronger? Oh no, the area gets stronger, sorry, not the chill. As far as I recall. I think that's correct. The damage gets better, and the area gets better, not the actual slowing effect. The slowing effect gets better from other things. Meteor's gonna land in there, but with the shields being up, some of the units do manage to survive a little bit. Royal Mage absorbs the elements after the landing, so it wasn't actually boosted. That's why people survived. He still shoots many projectiles, and his Fire Nova is boosted. His attacks are boosted as well, and the entire Dwarven army gets reset. That is how the Royal Mage is supposed to be played, and for the Dwarves, I think you just run away during that, not teleport towards it. You come in with the sentries that are deployed, and then try to snipe him. That's the counterplay, but AttackSpeedEnjoyer did everything correctly. This is the worst kind of thing to engage into for Svyatogor, so yeah, hopefully he's learned his lesson. He still can rebuild, like they are very similar in terms of population after this. All is not lost, but the humans are starting to gain a little bit of pace here, aren't they? Tier 3? Holy cow. Well, the Berserker might change a few things. First off, they don't care about tier 1 units. They have insane damage and health. And pretty good resist, too. They can boost each other, they can be protected by the Earth Shapers even more. I think the right play is to leave. I'm sure at some point the Berserkers will get upgraded as well to have their magical axes, and then they'll deal magic damage, which is even worse for the infantrymen. So, yeah, that human tier 3 really needs to happen as soon as possible. The only good news is Berserkers don't cleave, but, I mean, they have other properties that are useful. Bunch of creeps remain. Yumis could go for those. We got the Warhammers and the health upgrade for the infantrymen. That will help keep them relevant a little longer. But ultimately, AttackSpeedEnjoyer needs tier 3. And at the moment, he's spending iron into something.
Building completed.
No? Oh, he's trying to get Zeal for the Keepers and Precision Shot for the Arbalists, but he barely has Arbalists. It's not a bad upgrade, it's just tier 3 and champions are probably more important. Now, Keepers, the problem is as usual, they don't resist magic, and once Berserkers are upgraded for Enchanted Axes, which is currently queued up, the problem is going to be severe. They cannot fight Berserkers with magic damage. So I think Keepers probably need a little tier 2 buff of, you know, reducing that weakness to magic a little bit. That's probably what they need. And we'll see much more of them. Although, Fallen's mod does have a unique hero that specifically plays into them. So that could be still a little bit too strong there. And that should be level 6 right here once the creep camp is cleared up. Got a lot of border fortresses coming through for Svyatogor. He's doing everything correctly on that front. There's very little critiques I have for the guy. Actually, this is pretty good. And there's the Royal Mage level 6. It's smart to sit back and just build up those berserk numbers. Don't forget the bags. We got level 6. That's very nice to see. I wonder if he's gonna go into Biting Frost too. That could be alright. Just get the freezes on the enemies.
Building completed.
But there's no need to engage with this into berserkers, that's for sure.
Building completed.
Hey, the bags. Yo. You also got focus rings and a ring of nullification. Those definitely need to be equipped, but I'm sure you'll notice in the shop once he goes back there. There's also plenty of units to try and engage the big ghost with, which I'm sure Svyatogor wants to do at the moment. Good choice. Get up to level 8 or something. Oh my goodness. That is so strong. Ghost is about to get it. It's alright. The damage isn't that severe. I think these units all have very high health. Looks like AttackSpeedEnjoyer is thinking the same thing. I see the blobs move there. There's the magic damage. And back on your asses you go, guys. Let's see what that item was. We've got no points spent yet, and that's the Noria's command. Oh my goodness! 25% more damage multiplier for all abilities and attack damage as well. That's sick. Now the Humies have gotten knocked down as well, brutally. The first of the keepers is joining in. Probably a good idea to put the Royal Mage right next door, because he'll have the weakening effect. Oh my god. Everyone's knocked down. Double knockdown. What the heck? And the big boom. But all the guys survived, and he's also getting a Noria's command, which is going to be insane, combining Absorb the Elements, Starfall, with a high amount of Brute Force. There's just a lot of damage at the end of all that. Next time he activates Absorb the Elements, we'll just pause for a second to investigate the numbers going up. But it was 490, alright? 490. Remember that? Oh, he might put points into Arcane Force, so that could change. But Svyatogor, where did the points go? We got the full Wheel of Concentration. That's 36% reduction in cooldowns. Insane. We got 0.2 in Recuperate and Inspiring Presence. That's a very quick cooldown on that thing. 6.4 seconds and he gets 24 focus. That's crazy. Alright, I think we're not gonna have the teleport in. They're gonna just walk through. AttackSpeedEnjoyer did not spend his points. That's a little bit unfortunate. He misses the meteor as well, so all my predictions have not come to pass. He does take out the building though, and I think they should leave. This is insanely powerful from the dwarves. The humans are gonna be eviscerated here if he stays. There's no question about it. It's 200 population of tier 3 dwarves. They've even got pyromancers. All the humans are screaming, and there's no wonder. They're getting torn apart. After half of them are murdered, they finally get out. The Royal Mage still doesn't even have a tier 3 armor here as far as I can tell. That's just a tier 1 armor, isn't it? A tier 2, excuse me. Yeah, because the tier 1 is green. Alright. So the Noria's command got put on at the moment. And Starfall's damage is now 612 without Absorb the Elements, mind you.
We're being attacked.
Complete the wheel and use Absorb the Elements. It will one-shot Earthshapers at the very least. Definitely Pyromancers. And heavily damage the Berserkers too, but it's just not being done. Level 9 now on that Warrior of the Depths, and the entire human army has been removed from here. There's just a handful of stragglers left, and watchtowers. Now, watchtowers aren't bad, but they're not going to be able to sustain this. There's no tier 3, which means no border fortresses. The repair speed is slower than it could be. And the dwarves are gonna tear this to pieces. Absorb the Elements is in.
We're being attacked.
And the Meteor could right now do some pretty good damage, but 931, that is 666 magic damage. But AttackSpeedEnjoyer still didn't spend his points. He's out of potions, he's out of units. I think he's at the end of the line, guys. The dwarves have just put together their tier 3 death ball, and there's nothing that can stop them realistically. The Pyromancers probably also have their AoE upgrade. They can hit a few more units every blast. It's a very powerful multiplier, even though it's a small change. As far as before and after goes. There's plenty of fire golems here. And all the dwarves need to do is just claim these bases, let the guys regenerate for a moment, and then go. Hell, I don't even think they need to wait. That's just a scouting post. Just keep bulldozing. Having a base in front of the enemy main is always huge. And, you know, fighting the keepers isn't going to be an issue at all. They have Zeal, so they can do magic damage, but it's not a very powerful attack. The Zeal mode, generally speaking, isn't that amazing. It's ranged, but it reduces their attack speeds, right? And their attack damage as well. I think maybe that aspect could use a small buff. But keepers are like the only thing that is weak about the humans, and with the new hero, the Fallen added, that's taken care of, so with the other heroes you just don't really go for them as much. It's like a tier 2 transitional unit. You can get out a few of them if you really want the tanking power. But AttackSpeedEnjoyer has other things to worry about, like his Citadel getting destroyed. That's, once again, a lot of fire golems. We've seen this in the game before, the exact same situation, except this time there's no need for a tunnel. And they're also empowered by the shouts of the Berserkers. And the Citadel will be destroyed. AttackSpeedEnjoyer is destroyed, but do bear in mind this is a double elimination tournament. So he's got another shot. Svyatogor, however, moves straight into the grand finals. Beautiful work. Well done. Really very little to add for Svyatogor. A little bit of pathing improvements, a little bit of economic improvements. Maybe don't rush tier 2 as hard, but he's done all the right decisions in every game so far. I particularly enjoyed the all-in cheese. That was fun, but a really good late game here as well. Got all the important upgrades, got 200 pop with a really good composition. Hats off. GG.